Something huge is happening in India, and chances are, most people don't even know about it yet. I'm talking about a mind-blowing Rs 28,602 crore investment to build 12 brand new industrial parks. But wait, it's not just about building factories. This is a move that could completely reshape India's economy, create millions of jobs, and position the country as a global powerhouse in manufacturing and exports. It's like a quiet revolution unfolding right in front of us. And here's the kicker. This massive transformation is already underway. What does it mean for India's future? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about the where. These new industrial parks aren't being built in just any random spots. They've been strategically chosen for their location, infrastructure, and potential for growth. The parks will be spread across 10 different states, each picked because of its strategic importance. From Kurpia in Uttarakhand to Rajpura in Punjab, Dighi in Maharashtra, Palakkad in Kerala, Agra and Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh, and more. These locations are scattered across 6 major industrial corridors, meaning they are perfectly positioned to connect with key trade routes, railways, ports, and highways. But this goes far beyond just building in the right spots. Each of these 12 parks will serve as a hub of industrial activity and will be connected to surrounding infrastructure, making it easier to move goods, services, and raw materials. Picture this: factories humming with activity, trucks coming and going, and a seamless flow of products making their way from India to global markets. These hubs are not just isolated factories, they are industrial cities that will have residential, commercial, and social infrastructure built into them. This means workers can live, work, and spend all within these hubs, making the whole system more efficient. So why these locations? It's about maximizing regional development. By placing these parks in both developed and underdeveloped regions, the government is ensuring that growth happens evenly across the country. It's also about creating economic opportunities in regions that have been left behind. Imagine how a single industrial park in a relatively rural area could transform the local economy, jobs for thousands, increased business for local suppliers, and new opportunities for small businesses. The PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan also plays a crucial role here. It ensures that these parks are connected to India's national transportation grid. Railways, highways, ports, and even airports are all tied into this plan, ensuring goods can move in and out quickly. This is a key part of India's strategy to become a major player in global supply chains. The world has seen the vulnerabilities in global trade exposed during recent crises, and India is stepping up to fill those gaps by ensuring its industrial hubs are strategically linked to global markets. Think about it, could this network of industrial parks be the solution to decentralizing economic growth? Instead of crowding everything into a few major cities, India is spreading growth across the country, allowing smaller towns and regions to flourish as economic hubs in their own right. When it comes to job creation, this investment isn't just about building infrastructure, it's about changing lives. The government has predicted that these industrial parks will create 1 million direct jobs. That's right, 1 million people will be employed directly in the industries that will set up shop in these parks. But the story doesn't end there. These parks will also create 3 million indirect jobs, which means a total of 4 million new jobs for the Indian economy. Imagine the impact of that. From high-tech engineers and technicians working in cutting-edge industries to laborers and logistics staff supporting the day-to-day operations, these parks will provide opportunities for people from all walks of life, and the economic ripple effect will extend far beyond just these parks. Every new industry needs support services, catering, maintenance, transportation, retail, banking, and each of these services will create even more jobs in the surrounding areas. But it's not just about jobs. It's about building India's export capacity. Right now, India is aiming for a $2 trillion export target by 2030, and these industrial parks are going to be a huge part of that strategy. From automobiles to electric vehicles, aerospace parts to food processing, these industries will cater not only to the domestic market, but also to international buyers. Here's why this matters. India wants to reduce its dependence on imports and become a global manufacturing hub. The only way to do that is to increase production capacity, and ensure that these products can be exported easily. With world-class infrastructure being built into these parks and seamless connectivity to ports and airports, it's going to be easier than ever for businesses to manufacture and export their products. This also means that India can diversify its exports. Right now, a significant portion of India's exports comes from traditional industries like textiles, chemicals, and services. But these industrial parks will help India expand into new sectors like electric vehicles, high-tech manufacturing, biotechnology, and sustainable technologies. These are industries that not only have massive growth potential, but also align with global trends in clean energy, innovation, and sustainability. And it's not just big corporations that will benefit. MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises will play a pivotal role in the success of these parks. MSMEs form the backbone of India's economy, and the government is ensuring that these smaller enterprises have a place in the new industrial ecosystem. By providing them with access to world-class infrastructure and investment opportunities, the government is empowering smaller businesses to scale up, innovate, and become part of India's global trade ambitions. Ask yourself, could these industrial parks be the key to solving India's unemployment crisis, especially in rural areas? If these jobs are evenly spread across the country, it could be the beginning of a new economic revolution. The word industrial park often conjures up images of smoke-belching factories and environmental degradation. But that's not what's happening here. The future of industrial development is about sustainability and innovation. And these new industrial parks are setting a new standard. These parks are being designed as greenfield smart cities, cities built from the ground up with sustainability as a priority. This isn't about retrofitting old industrial areas with some solar panels and calling it a day. These parks are designed for the future. They'll incorporate smart infrastructure from ICT-enabled utilities to green energy sources like solar and wind power. The walk-to-work model is another game changer. Imagine living close to your workplace, cutting down on commute times, reducing stress, and most importantly, reducing pollution. These parks are being designed so that people can live, work, and spend all in one place, eliminating the need for long, polluting commutes. This isn't just better for the environment, it's better for the workers too. Less time spent commuting means more time with family, better work-life balance, and, ultimately, higher productivity. Now let's talk about resource efficiency. These industrial parks will incorporate technologies that allow for real-time monitoring of water usage, electricity consumption, and waste management. Factories will be equipped with systems that optimize their energy use, minimizing waste and maximizing efficiency. This will reduce costs for businesses and make them more competitive on the global stage. But it also ensures that the environmental impact of these parks is minimized, helping India meet its climate goals. There's also a strong emphasis on green technologies. Factories that rely heavily on fossil fuels will need to adopt more sustainable practices. Industries in these parks will be encouraged to use clean energy and reduce their carbon footprints, which will not only make them more sustainable, but also make their products more attractive to environmentally conscious consumers worldwide. Another key innovation is the built ahead of demand approach. Instead of waiting for industries to grow and then scrambling to build infrastructure, these parks are being designed to be ready for growth from day one. This means that as industries expand, these parks will be able to handle the growth without the need for major infrastructure overhauls. It's a forward-thinking approach that ensures the parks will remain competitive and efficient for years to come. In a world where climate change and sustainability are becoming increasingly important, these parks could position India as a global leader in sustainable industrial development. The rest of the world is watching. Could India's industrial parks be the blueprint for the future of manufacturing? Of course, a project of this magnitude isn't without its challenges. While the vision is ambitious, the execution will be key. And as with any large-scale development project, there are several hurdles that need to be overcome. Land acquisition is one of the biggest challenges. Acquiring land for industrial use has always been a contentious issue in India, especially in rural areas where people rely on agriculture for their livelihoods. There have been cases where large-scale land acquisitions have led to protests, delays, and even project cancellations. Ensuring that the local communities are fairly compensated and have a voice in the process will be crucial to avoiding these kinds of conflicts. Then there's the issue of infrastructure development. While these parks are connected to key trade corridors, building and maintaining the infrastructure to support these parks will be a massive undertaking. Roads, railways, ports, and airports all need to be upgraded and expanded to handle the increased flow of goods and services. The PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan is designed to address this, but it will require meticulous planning and coordination across multiple sectors. Environmental clearances could also be a potential roadblock. While these parks are being designed with sustainability in mind, large industrial projects always come under scrutiny from environmental regulators. Delays in approvals could slow down the development process, and navigating these regulatory challenges will require a delicate balance between economic growth and environmental responsibility. But despite these challenges, the outlook is incredibly positive. The Indian government has already completed several projects under the National Industrial Corridor Development Program, NICDP, and more are on the way. This isn't just a dream, it's already happening. And with the right policies, planning, and execution, these parks have the potential to transform India's economy for the better. There's also the potential for these parks to become growth engines for regional development. By bringing industry to regions that have historically been left behind, these parks could help bridge the gap between urban and rural India, providing new opportunities for economic growth in areas that have been overlooked for decades. And here's a final question. Will these parks be able to overcome the challenges and deliver on their promises? It's a tall order, but with the right leadership, it's entirely possible. The Rs 28,602 crore investment into 12 industrial parks isn't just a financial decision, it's part of a larger vision called Atmanirbhar Bharat, or Self-Reliant India, spearheaded by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This initiative aims to make India self-sufficient across various sectors, reducing the country's dependence on imports and increasing its ability to produce goods domestically. The creation of these industrial parks fits perfectly into this broader mission, as they provide the infrastructure for industries that will be crucial in making India a global manufacturing powerhouse. The Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative came into sharp focus during the global COVID-19 pandemic, when supply chains across the world were disrupted. India, like many other countries, found itself overly reliant on imports for critical supplies, from medical equipment to everyday consumer goods. It became clear that if India was to thrive in the modern global economy, it needed to increase its domestic manufacturing capacity. These 12 new industrial parks are a significant step in that direction. Here's how they fit into the broader self-reliance strategy. One of the most immediate benefits of these industrial parks is their ability to increase India's domestic production of goods that are currently imported. Industries such as electronics, electric vehicles, EVs, aerospace, and advanced manufacturing will be given priority in these parks. Right now, India relies heavily on other countries for high-tech goods like semiconductors, EV batteries, and aerospace components. By setting up facilities to manufacture these goods locally, the country can reduce its dependency on foreign imports, especially from countries like China. Let's take electric vehicles as an example. India has ambitious plans to become a leader in EV production, but currently, much of the technology and components for EVs are imported. The establishment of EV manufacturing hubs within these industrial parks means India can start producing batteries, motors, and other essential EV components locally. This will not only reduce import costs, but also make EVs more affordable for Indian consumers, accelerating the country's shift toward cleaner transportation. The MSME sector is often called the backbone of the Indian economy. MSMEs account for a significant portion of employment and contribute heavily to India's GDP. These industrial parks will prioritize MSME development by providing them with access to state-of-the-art infrastructure, something that smaller businesses usually cannot afford on their own. These businesses will have access to plug-and-play facilities, making it easier for them to set up operations quickly and without the usual logistical hassles. By nurturing MSMEs, the parks are not just helping large industries grow, they are empowering local businesses to thrive. This is especially important in rural and semi-urban areas where employment opportunities are limited. With affordable land, access to utilities, and proximity to larger industries, MSMEs in these parks will be able to scale their operations, hire more workers, and contribute to the local economy. For India to become self-reliant, it must also be competitive in the global marketplace. These industrial parks are designed with export potential in mind by providing businesses with multimodal connectivity, a combination of road, rail, and sea transport. These parks will make it easier for industries to get their goods to both domestic and international markets. This kind of efficiency is essential for reducing costs and making Indian products competitive globally. The parks will also offer companies cutting-edge technology and infrastructure, which means Indian businesses can produce goods that meet the quality standards of international markets. This is particularly important for sectors like aerospace, pharmaceuticals, and high-tech manufacturing, where quality and precision are non-negotiable. With access to advanced manufacturing technologies and a skilled workforce, Indian companies can produce goods that are not just made in India, but also meet the highest global standards. The development of these 12 industrial parks goes beyond just job creation and economic growth. It has the potential to transform the socio-economic landscape of the regions where they are located. While the parks themselves will serve as engines of economic activity, their effects will ripple out into the wider communities, bringing long-term benefits that will improve quality of life, regional development, and infrastructure. These industrial parks are strategically placed in underdeveloped or semi-urban areas, which have historically been left behind in terms of infrastructure and economic growth. By investing in these regions, the government is ensuring that development is spread more evenly across the country. This means that areas that were once economically stagnant will now see a surge in infrastructure development, including better roads, improved transportation networks, and upgraded utilities like water and electricity. For instance, take Sahirabad in Telangana and Gaya in Bihar, two regions that haven't historically been major industrial hubs. The establishment of industrial parks here will not only bring in factories and businesses, but also create the need for better roads, railways, and housing for the workers. This kind of investment in basic infrastructure will significantly improve the standard of living for the local population, creating a more balanced and equitable growth model for the country. Moreover, this regional development helps reduce migration pressures on India's larger cities. One of the biggest issues in metropolitan areas like Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore is the overconcentration of industries and jobs, which has led to overcrowding, infrastructure strain, and poor living conditions. By creating new industrial hubs in other regions, the government is encouraging people to stay in their home regions, thereby reducing the burden on already stressed urban centers. One of the more long-term benefits of these industrial parks is the focus on skill development. To support the high-tech industries that will be housed in these parks, the government plans to create training centers and educational institutions nearby. These centers will equip the local workforce with the skills they need to work in sectors like aerospace, electronics, and advanced manufacturing. This focus on upskilling is critical for India's future. The country has a young population, but many young people lack the skills needed for jobs in high-tech industries. By investing in vocational training centers, technical schools, and university partnerships, the government is ensuring that India's workforce is prepared for the jobs of the future. This not only helps individuals improve their earning potential, but also strengthens India's industrial ecosystem by ensuring there is a steady pipeline of skilled workers. The industrial parks are also designed with sustainability in mind, which means that they are not just good for the economy, they're good for the planet too. The parks will incorporate green technologies and renewable energy sources, which will help reduce their overall carbon footprint. This focus on sustainability extends to the surrounding communities as well. For example, many of the industrial parks will feature water recycling systems, waste management facilities, and energy-efficient buildings. This not only reduces the environmental impact of the industries, but also helps the surrounding communities benefit from cleaner water and air, and improved environmental conditions. The development of green spaces, parks, and community areas around these industrial hubs also ensures that the workers and their families have access to healthier living environments. The Rs 28,602 crore investment in these 12 new industrial parks is much more than just another development project. It's a bold, forward-thinking vision for the future of India's economy. With millions of jobs, cutting-edge infrastructure, and a focus on sustainability, these parks are poised to transform India into a global manufacturing leader. But more than that, this investment represents a shift in how India thinks about industrial growth. It's about building a future where economic growth, environmental responsibility, and innovation go hand in hand. India is taking bold steps to ensure that it can compete on the global stage, and these parks are at the heart of that strategy. The success of these parks could pave the way for a new era of industrial development, not just in India, but around the world. It's a plan that could change the future of industry as we know it. So, what do you think? Will this investment reshape India's future? Will it help India become a global manufacturing powerhouse? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any updates about India's journey toward economic transformation. There's so much more to explore, and we're just getting started.